Hello guys, how you doing? Good to see you again. All right, so today's a new day, and I'm gonna be honest, I haven't touched my code past couple of days, although I have done a couple of courses on Codecademy, which is good. But I don't really remember where we were last time. I do remember that we were doing something parsing JSON, and I was kind of going through a trial and error, trying to understand how it worked, how I could make it work the way I want it to work. Helpful to note, or at least interesting to note, that the courses that I was doing on Codecademy were related to like setting state and setting state as an object and stuff like that. Still a little bit hazy in my mind. I feel like I'm starting to get closer and closer to getting a grip on, understanding it. But yes, I guess we can dive straight into it. All right. So, close in. All right. So, last time I decided that I was going to work on the parsing of the JSON parsing in a different application because I felt, having too many components open and, each one of them being imported and exported was a little bit chaotic. So I figured I'll just start anew just so I could figure out the parsing and then maybe go back to the other project. Maybe not. Maybe I'll stay here because at the end of the day, what we're going to be doing is parsing the JSON into a new map. And so we might not need the other application that we've been working on for a while now any longer. So let's find out what this code is currently doing, shall we? Outputting 0, and 0 is basically the first X value in our JSON. Well, this one, right? And what I was trying to figure out last time is why it wasn't iterating through all the objects and returning the objects as required. Right, so okay, so what do we have here? Hold on, actually this is not saved. Now it is. Cash Super, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it, man. Right, so there's not much commenting for me to do here. Really what I'm going to be doing for the next couple minutes is try to figure out, where I need to place the variable, where do I need to iterate through the data, and how do I output it the best way possible, and so that I can actually get all the information from the JSON, at least into text on my React app, right? So let's console log it, what it's outputting. Right, I saw 53 there for a second, where it gave me an error. That's because I get it. Oh, perfect. That's good, right? So we're getting all the objects out of our JSON file. Problem is that it stops at five. Object with meant to render a collection of array instead. Array? Where? Why are you using var instead of let? Does that affect the scope? Okay. Well, good thing to note is that we are being able to output them into the console log, but we're just getting an error over here. Just need to figure that out. And I'm not sure what the error is about. Another thing that's bad about console logging a huge fucking, my French, a huge file, is that this happens. Like right now, the application is frozen for some reason. So the best thing to do is, instead of console logging it, like I did right now, is to instead save it to a variable and then console log that variable. Because that way the console log wouldn't be one that is being wouldn't be what's outputting the information as the iteration goes forward. Yeah, speaking of which, let me check that out real. All right. All right, let me see how I can do that. Technically, should be able to save it into a variable, into a as an array. No. I'm gonna try to output it over here, see if that makes a difference. After the iteration ends, output the... I want to say array, but for some reason I feel like it might not be an array. Alright, see, when I do that outside of it, it just gives me the last one. It gives me the last use for let key in data. Oh, I did want to try this last time. Right. Oh, I think I did try this last time. How does it output again, though? Can I output key? Or actually, can I save key to object, like so? output object. All right, see, that's what was happening last time. Oh, there, you wrote it. Never mind. Object equals data and key. So that we stop getting the error. All right, yeah, well, that's pretty much what's happening. I'm just getting the last value. So if I want to iterate into, okay, no, yeah, okay, so I just have to do like a function, right? So it's like object.map, and then I run it through a callback function, right? Like this. All right, let me see if I can close it so I stop getting the error. I'm not sure if I need to do that. Why am I getting an error here? Can I map through it here? Object is possibly undefined. OBJ question mark. If true, then turn null. But if false, iterate through it. Object. Okay. Property map does not exist on type. Okay, so I can't call. Okay, so that's what I was. That was the issue I was facing last time. Is that you can't call map on an object. You can only call map on an array. Right, and last time I was looking it up on Stack Overflow, asking how to map a JSON file or something like that. There might be a video, something that talks about this. How to map a JSON file. You need to parse JSON to guess maybe. Okay, let's try this. Let's try this because I feel like this might work. How to parse JSON. Ah, okay. Yeah, I didn't know that. Oh, actually, I might have known that, but it just didn't come to mind. JSON parse method parses JSON. Okay. Okay. Yes, that's exactly what we're trying to look for. Yo, Cash. Thank you, man. All right, so all right, so now I need just to figure out where to put that. Yeah, I'm sorry if I'm a little slow. I'm just newbie here. So I know it can get a little frustrating for someone who already knows how to do everything. I've had first-hand experience with that, you know, whenever you're trying to teach a video game to someone who does not know how to play it. So, all right, so do we just take this right here and put it there? Parentheses. The argument of type, not silence, but a member of type string. Okay. Okay, so what if we do obj2, something like this? JSON dot parse whatever, it will be J. Cycle. All right, let's try that. Okay. Versus JavaScript. Yeah, that's what it is. Throwing an error because argument of type did. How do you know it's of type string? All right, what if we like? Data.parse? What does that mean? Or do you mean here? You're just throwing me off, aren't you? What is that? Okay. Okay, hold on. Let's go back to documentation. Let me see if I can like figure something out over here. Here you have the JSON, which is what we have in data. And then what he does here is he passes the data into the object. So here we have the data of the JSON, and we pass data into... Okay, one thing I should note is that the JSON has a bracket at the beginning and at the end. Well, I mean, so it's like one single array of a lot of objects. And so I'm not sure whether or not that would affect the way we would parse it. I'm guessing it would. So yeah, we have something like, no, not even. Using JSON parse. Is there anything else other than JSON parse? Stringify. Oh no, stringify is what makes the JSON file, right? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I did say that last time. I was like, yeah, you know, I could just go in there and just take out the brackets, and then the JSON parse would work. I'll tell you. All right. How about this? How about we iterate through the data. We save it into OBJ, and then we take OBJ, and then we say JSON parse OBJ. Oh, we did that last time, didn't we? All right. Why didn't it work though? Okay, so what does OBJ contain? Does it contain all the values? Okay, it looks like a normal object, doesn't it? Name data to data, not component. This is just a convention. Objects are not valid as a React child. Okay. Possibly undefined. Have to. There we go. All right. All right. This is the last value, by the way, giving us the last value. So what I'm guessing is that, well, here's a possibility, right? And it's that OBJ variable is actually not an array. That's what I'm guessing, right? So maybe we can do something like obj.push and then add data E like that. Is that possible? Variable obj is used before assigned. Mamba has no value. Oh, look at that. All right, so now it's an array, and now we can push that. What would that mean? That we would have to iterate. Let's try this. Let's try 20. .x, or maybe typography. Topography, not typography. All right, we'll save that, and yes, all right, now it's working. All right, so now all we need to do is just do map through objects. So, right? Please work. Oh yes. Or calls define callback function element of an array and return. Yes. Do I need to make a callback function? Yes. Okay. All right. Fingers crossed. Objects dot topography. Let's do topography dot map. No. Maybe a for each, because unless we can access. Yes, unless we can access it over here. So we say topography over here. Yes, let's go. All right, got it. All right, this is a huge string over here. All right, can we add like a line break at the end of each one? Better. What was it again? Bjorn? Type of object now is array. Object. No, it's now an array. So we defined it here as an array, and it worked. And then we pushed all the values that we we are pushing all the objects that we are iterating through into the object array, and then we're outputting object. But we're returning. Actually, no. So this is actually redundant. But we're returning. One of the one of the key values in a div. So that's actually what we're looking for. But now instead of outputting the strings, all right, we're going to be taking each one of these values, and then we're going to be assigning it hold on. Is this one div? Yeah, it is one div. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually return this in a new div, like so. Can we do that? Should be able to do that, no? Yeah. Unless we have to. Yes, okay. Leave the return? Okay. Alright, so I guess I don't need the curly brackets, do I? Okay. Cool. I thought I needed a return so it would print that out. Nice. Alright, there we go. Yes, baby. Alright, moving forward. That's good. Alright, so now actually what I would like to do is to... Okay, so basically to explain it to you, Cash, so that you kind of get up to speed with what's going on. I created this JSON file through processing, and the processing, actually the program on processing, what it does, that it creates a map using those numbers, and it assigns a color based on those numbers, and it looks something like so, right? And so each and every square is like a 0 point something, and depending on what number that is, that color is being assigned to that specific square, right? So we're trying to do the same thing over here. I think you saw it, right? Yeah. we want to give each one of these divs an ID, let's say, all right? And that ID is going to be something like color, let's say. But actually it's not going to be color, it's actually going to be something like this, t.topography. I don't remember exactly how it's done. Topography. All right, so I just need to pass that number as an ID, and depending on, no, hold on. All right, actually maybe like do some sort of a function that assigns the div the class name relatively to the number that it's being assigned. I'm from Russia and I use a translator. Oh. All right. Okay. All right. Before okay, let me show you. I think this would be the best way I could do it. All right. So here, let's just say that we're gonna say color. Okay, ID, or maybe even the class name. No, ID. All right. So over here, what we're gonna do is create a function that says function sign color. Right? And then over here, what I need to do is I need to grab, okay, I need to grab the ID. Sorry, not the ID. I need to grab .topography. And then here I need to do assign color. And the assign color, actually, let me open the processing again. I'll show you what I'm talking about exactly.
The operation is about to begin. The universe holds its breath.
Here,
The audacity
there it is.
of man.
Okay. So we're gonna say like if, all right, let's just say like v is equal to t.topography. All right, so we're gonna be like this. I'm not sure how I'm gonna be passing the t into this yet, but we'll get to that in a second. And then we'll say like if v is less than 0.3, then we return water. Right, so that the class name would be here. So it would be something like sign color over here. Something like that.
They all know much, but understand little.
Right? And same for the rest of them. Here, if it's that, we sand. If it's this, we grass. That, say forest. Okay? And essentially what we would be outputting here is not the number, but instead it would be actually an empty div, right? But it would have a colored background. So would be something like map square CSS, map square style. and then say water, sand, grass, forest. Water. Okay, so if it's water, say background color blue. I'm just like picking these colors randomly, and I'll change everything later after I figure out the logic behind it. Okay, the burley wood, we say green over here. Background color, maybe olive green or dark green. That's good. All right, awesome. The only thing I'd like to know is how do I pass whatever because over here what we're essentially doing is we're mapping through the objects and we're getting all the objects. Well, I mean, they're being called back by this, right? Essentially, we need to try to pass the t.dot topography to assign color. All right. So let's just say dot topography here, like so. Can we do that? We just say number over here. Then we pass number to be equal to v, let's say. Can we do that? And then we say this is actually, can we do float? Does this need to be an object? Not find name, float. Need to set the size of the div, yes. Let's give this a class name. And we'll say class name equal to where? And we'll square over here. Last name? Oh, hold on. Was that an ID? It is an ID, right? So actually, these are have to be hashtags. Okay, and actually, this class called square. Now we say width equal to 20 pixels. Height 20 pixels. And actually, now that we've done that, we also need to set. We need to create the grid for this thing. Say map-grid, let's say. All right, because this, I don't remember how you do it exactly. I think you have to do like the head. Display grid, and then something content, something something. Column something. All right, so what I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to set the columns and the rows. I don't know if you remember how this... Right, so what we want to do is we want to say like there's that many columns, that there's that many rows. And I can open up another project where I have that saved, but... We could go to Sandbox, sure. All right, let's do it. All right, I think I have it. There it is, okay. There it is. All right, I'm gonna grab all this here. Save that. Right, so we say there are 53 columns, and we say there are 34 rows of 20 pixels each, and the width is much, the height is that much. We display inline block. All right, I'm gonna see what happens if I don't do it with inline block. Okay. Number, float. Oh yeah, we forgot about this actually. This over here. What is? Oh no, this is. All right, here it is. Okay, so what is it saying exactly? Function assign color number float. Not find name float. Okay. I mean, I would love to just, you know, pass you the number over here, but you're not letting me. Parameter number implicitly has an any type. Parameter. You are using no implicit any. TypeScript doesn't know about the type of the object. In this case, you need to find user type, change the line this. Okay. Or define the type of your user's object. Okay, so I just need to define... Okay. Man, like, I feel like it was a bad idea to write in TypeScript because I'm not super proficient yet. But what I just need to know is to TypeScript how to define a parameter type. There we go. Function type. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, okay. Can it be float? Please be. Oh. Okay, what about number? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I closed it by mistake. All right, so now if we open this. All right. Yeah, I noticed. And I think another thing I did was mistakenly add a parentheses here that shouldn't. Oh, this shouldn't. That shouldn't be either. I think. Right? And that div. Actually. this doing? Div. Oh. Close the. Oh, okay. Hold on. Okay, it's working. Let me just leave it. All right, good. Okay. So there's no syntax error here, is there? Because I'm having a hard time kind of. I mean, I could try to write it a little bit better. I'm not sure if that makes it prettier, but so this apps, yes, this one closes the map over here. Right. Okay, we're good. Yes, we're good. Okay. All right. So now my question is that why is it not rendering? Person statues. Most people start breaking stuff to multiple lines. So. Yeah. Yeah, I suppose in this case it also helped me a little bit, to be honest. Alright, so over here we're returning a string. And that string is supposed to define the ID. And then ID... Oh. Okay, no, yeah, right. So the ID is supposed to return a color. But then we have each one of them square, and we are defining the size of the square using this. And then they're all within one giant div called the map grid, which is this one over here. The map grid is supposed to output everything in a square or in a rectangle. Do I have the yeah, I think I do. Okay. I don't remember how to open it though. Yeah, no, I don't remember what it was. But I do remember that I have downloaded it. Oh, maybe it wasn't my other computer. Well, okay, no, I have it on my other computer. There we go. All right. Do I need to close it and reopen it? Okay. Let me do that. Yeah, see, this is as far as I go. Like, I'm not sure exactly how to read. I don't have a key. Yeah, that would be helpful, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. All right. In the meanwhile, let me try to see if I can add the same the Teton topography as a key for each one of those. Sorry if you can cycle in the background. And we'll add actually T dot topography. That. And if that eliminates the error, then we should encounter 2 children with the same key. Whoa. Like, what are the odds of that? Okay, can we do this? Plus dot x plus dot y. What are the odds? There we go. Good. Oh my god. Alright, so over here, as we can see, everything is rendering correctly. We could see like grass, forest, sand, whatever. It's all good. Right? Problem is though, that we're not seeing them render over here. You have class square, and class square really gives it 20 pixel width and height. Go to your tools again. Those messages won't be useful. Go to where do you see performance at the top. Okay. Performance. Like arrows. Which arrows? Click arrows beside the performance at the top. Oh yeah, you're talking about the components over here, right? Map parser? Parser. Oh yeah, that's a class name, or that's a component name. What else we have? We have profiler as well. No profiling data has been recorded. These styles are applied to div. Over here we have his class name. Hold on, class name is the dot, right? Yes. So, okay, how do I check, yeah. All right, so what does it mean if I don't see the class styling within styles? Oh my god. Guys, I'm so sorry. I just got to report it. Thank you very much, guys. Sorry again. Now we imported it. I must be importing it incorrectly. Import map square style. Oh, style. Yes. Let's go. All right. Now the question is that why is it looking like this? I think we need to. I think okay. Here's what I think the problem is. Right, if we look at the map here. CSS isn't loading. Yeah. Okay, so here's the problem, right? When we are, man, like I'm trying to think about how to figure it out while I'm explaining it. Okay, so I think, if I'm not mistaken, when we're iterating through our JSON file over here, right? It's doing that in lines instead of rows. It's doing that in rows instead of lines. And how processing works, it works in columns. It works in columns instead of rows. So it starts like 0 at the top, or 0, 1, 0, 2 is underneath, 0, 3, 0, 4, etc, etc, etc. Which is why it's looking like that, because we're actually rendering everything in lines instead of in columns. All right, I hope that made sense. Flex direction columns. Dude, if that works. All right, so over here, right, in the map grid, or yeah, in the map grid. Okay, let's try them one at a time, okay? Just so I can understand how it works. Okay, now we're talking. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Oh, okay, I see what you did there. All right. Flex. Okay, my bad. Now I understood. I've never used that before. All right. Okay. Not sure what that means. One row. Yeah. Okay. I feel like the grid is a good option for us. Okay, so here's what I think we should be doing. Yeah, exactly. We need to change the orientation which we're filling. But how do we do that? I mean, at which point in the program is it causing the divs to render in lines rather than columns? Because I have the feeling that yeah, it all goes from left to right. All right, let's check Google. How to render divs, columns first. Yeah, I feel like this is what's going to be happening, to be honest. We're gonna have to like okay, here's one solution that we can take, or one course of action is to rearrange our JSON file in our map parser so that what we would get is I was gonna say like 0, 1, and then you go all the way down to 35, which is the one at the bottom of the column, and then you take 1, 0, right? So it would be x0, x1, x2, x3, etc., etc., instead of the other way around, which is you know, it's going through okay, so here was what we can do. All right, easiest solution would be to go back into the processing program and make it so that it outputs the X first instead of the Y. Okay, so and what do I mean by that? I mean that it would be X0, X1, X2, X3 instead of Y1, Y2, Y. And so it would be like X10, 01, sorry, 00, 10, 20, 30, 40, etc., etc. All right, I'm reading chat. Give me a sec. Artesian plane? I'm not familiar with the term. What is? Yes, correct. Matrix? Okay. Alright, I feel like the solution that I propose is actually matrix is a math structure. Oh, really? Yeah, see, like that's another thing. I still have, you know, a lot of things that I need to learn. I'm guessing that the matrix is one of them. Another thing I'd like to get into is data structures and algorithms. I'm gonna buy a book for that soon, whenever I can. What was I looking up? Yeah, tell me about it. All right, let me open this up while I remember what I was trying to look for on Google. Okay, so this is the program that generates the map JSON file. All right. Now let me walk you through the program. Basically, what it does is that it draws squares using for loops, and in these for loops, he take the values of the i's, the I and the j's. I think those are the I don't know, I'm not sure what you call them, but those, you know, and we just like save them to an array called x. Or why I saved them like this. Oh, okay. Needs to be defined as a array or something like that. Or you need to like specify at which index you're saving it, right? And this is Java, by the way, so I'm not super familiar with Java either. Cash, I'm actually creating this project as part of a personal project, and the end result or the final project is actually a video game. And it kind of looks like Tribal Wars, if you've ever played that. So it would be something similar to this, right? But instead of having villages like you do here, you would have like one single unit that you can click on and say like, okay, so I want you to move from here to there, and you can kind of like see the unit moving to that, towards that location. Okay, I'm 10 years deep, no way. All languages are the same. Yeah, I figured. Once you learn the logic, you know, it's just a matter of syntax. Okay, so back to this, right? Over here, the way we're saving these values into our JSON file is using this right here. We're doing set JSON object, and we're using count to iterate through the well, it's just like an indexing for an index for objects, right? So that you wouldn't override the previous one at the specific index, right? And then we save this with coordinates. The coordinates is actually, and we are setting so these are the key value pairs over here. We're saying coordinates set int x, right? So this is the key, and that's the value right here. So I'm guessing what we should be doing, taking we just save them in the first one. Sorry, first for loop like this. Oh, because we... Right, so, okay. Let me explain what I did here. Actually, no, this has to be in the J. Okay. We define the new JSON object over here. And we set it, you know, like we give it the variable name of coordinates. Then, for each x that we save into the JSON object, wow, this is going to be a little messy. Trial and error, all right? I'm going to go for it. Let me see if okay, there it is. That's the new JSON file that it just saved, okay? So if we open that up, we get 035, 035, 35, 35, 30. Great. So now what we're looking for. All right, let's try this again. I feel like topography. Any suggestions? All right, let me restate what it is that I'm looking for. What we're looking for is to try to save the x value so that for each x value we save 35 y values. So if x is 0, then we get 35 other objects that have a different y value but the same x value. And when the x value changes, yeah, you would just get another 35 y objects, y values. Yeah, well, objects. And the problem is that I'm not sure where to put everything. So here, let me try to. I'm gonna try to, you know, works. Okay. So every time I press play, it pretty much creates a new JSON file over here. So this one gets overridden, right? The only problem is that it's saving as 0.35 for some. And this is probably because we're creating the JSON object. Well, what if we create the JSON file outside? That affected in it? No, I think you fine if you just find it inside or outside. All right, so here, try this. What if we just flip the values? What if we just say, like, let x be y and y be x, something like that? Okay, maybe it's safer to just bring this JSON object back to where it's supposed to be. There we go. All right, see now, I think 0. Yeah, that's problem. Okay, I know. What if we just take these values and flip them? All right, so essentially what we would be doing is we are putting that x is equal to the y and y to the instead of the iterator. All right, so it will be x1, x2, x3, x4, x5. It's exactly what we're looking for. And now my question is text format. Let's see with text format to see like where the values are. All right, so now if we look at it, we can see 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1. Guys, that's just digital high five right there. Let's go! You see flash? I don't know what flash you're talking about. What are you seeing? Right, so essentially what was happening earlier is that we were saving them in rows, now we're saving them in columns. So if now we export that, all right, so let's export that. Let's see if we like the map first. We like the map, let's move. All right, so if we just take this, copy this, and then paste it into this, and save that, right? This is the one we're importing, aren't we? Yes, this one is the components. We go over here, load it. Guys, it's not the X and Y values that were that are the issue. It's actually the fact that it's rendering the topography values in lines rather than in rows, and processing does that in rows rather than lines. Columns, it does that in columns rather than rows, and the JavaScript does it in rows rather than columns. So let's save that again. The way it was, right? That's the way it was. Okay, don't need this for now. So now we're back to square one, boys. Right, so you understood what I'm talking about, right? So every time we're assigning a color, right, it's assigning a color like so for example, all these blue lines over here, right, instead of them being from left to right, they have to be from up and down instead. And I feel like that's why we're ending up with like the rest of the map unfinished over here, and over here you still have a you know, pink, which is essentially the background color of the div. So that's not supposed to be there. Why? Let's see whether or not we can do something with map and how to map. All right, let's look at the processing numbers here again. Okay, so here's what we need to do, okay? The topography numbers, okay? Are being rendered one after the other in a line. So what we can see here, for example, is 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 4. Now, the problem is that it's not about the X and Y values, it's about the topography numbers. So since they're being rendered in columns over here, and they're being rendered in rows on HTML. We just need to take these values, so 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 6, 1. We need to take the topography values of those coordinates and then render them. So I feel like what we need to do is actually like grab these values ourselves, like write some sort of a code that does that automatically. Yes, I think, you know, roughly speaking, Tom's, that's essentially what's happening, yes. New line every X? That's actually a good... line every X. Yes. Hold on. We could try it. We can try it. We're trying to figure out, like, how do you do it? Yeah, like how do you render, like, it's supposed to be like super easy. Like, how do you render things in columns rather than rows? That's all we need to do. How to map divs columns rather than rows. I apologize if I'm mixing rows and columns every now and then. But I guess you guys understand what I'm talking about, right? Simply map items as you usually do from one array. With that, use the CSS property columns to display them as described in the question above. I think I have a simple item 1. Oh, okay. He returns this, and he do auto columns. All right, I'm gonna try that, see if that works. Column. How many columns? 35. 35. Right? Auto. Okay. Maybe if we take out... What's going on? Hold on. We just took out what I thought was integral for this to function, but that's not the case. So clearly what's being rendered here is being rendered due solely on this map, I don't know, like object literal. Oh. I need X columns based on div width. Yeah, but how would you explain that? Oh, hold on. Did I not save it? Guys, it worked. No? Yes, 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 yes. All right, how do I remove the spaces between them? Is there like a width? Yeah, there's like spaces between them for some reason. Yeah, how do we how do we remove the spaces between them? Oh my god, we're so close. I'm trying to figure out like what the spaces between, or where does it come? Column margins. Gap. Zero, whatever. But it did do something. Hold on, maybe CH is not what we're looking for. X. Maybe not auto, maybe just 35. What if we were width over? Yeah, that did something for sure. What did it do? Let me see if I increase that, what would happen? Oh. Okay, okay. 720. 700. All right, I mean, I think that's it. Let me all right, let me see if if I grab what we have in our JSON file. I copy it over and I save it into one that we're working on right now. Save that. Does it look the same? That's the question. Yes! Oh my god! Look at that. Brilliant. Freaking fantastic. Wow, dude. That's a freaking milestone, by the way. Huge, huge milestone for me. What that actually means is that we could start working on stuff, man. Wow, we could start doing like classes and stuff. Freaking brilliant. Taking a moment to soak that in. That's a win right here. Wow. Huge high five, man. One thing that I'm going to want to look into is why is it missing one div here at the end, and what color is it? Oh, hold on. How is it rendering one more than it's supposed to? Oh. Rex, appreciate the follow, man. Thank you so much, man. So I think what's actually happening is that the program, or at least the processing program, has a limit on the size of the window, whereas the information of the map actually keep moving on, or keep going, keep being generated, say. And I feel like we're missing just one key object value right at the end over here. So I'm going to that's the case by just saying 30. That? Yeah, there we go. All right. That's the easiest way to fix it. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that for now. I mean, I don't want to get into that just yet, or getting into figuring out why it's missing one value over here, or maybe like cutting out the entire bottom line. I could cut out the entire bottom line, I guess, if we fix the height. Maybe. Hold on. What would happen if we like changed the height over here? All right, so it's kind of like extends everything. Or what is it extending the height? The height of? No idea. Anyway. Yeah, I guess the worst case scenario would be to actually, or I mean, well, another solution would be to I was gonna say edit the code over here so that it adds like one more value. Then we would have to edit the size, and that's gonna like take us through another rabbit hole. So I'm just gonna stop here with fiddling around with the map and start working on the functionality instead. And I think that's a very fun part, right? So for example, what we can do is we can say something like handle click, right? So what we want to do, we want to handle the click. Can you guys hear that in the background? Right? And then we say this div right here, we say on click. And then we pass in handle click. I love it! Okay, and essentially what we're going to be doing here is we are going to be handling okay, this is going to generate pop-up, right? But also we want to add styling, right? So what we want to do, for example, is we want it so that every time we click on a square, we get a highlight around it. But only the current square we're clicking on, and not, you know, like it's not like a drawing thing, you know? Which actually brings us back to the problem that we were having a few a few streams back, or like 1 or 2 streams back, in which I was doing exactly that. The problem was that every time I was clicking on a square, or every time I was clicking on a new square, the highlight of the old square that I had clicked on does not disappear. Right. And essentially, the code looked something like this. All right, here it is. So we defined a function which was equal to this. It was on mouse down for some reason and not on click. Right, and this could have been on click, actually. Yeah, it could have been my error, or it could have been my mistake. So anyway, we passed the value of the on click event into a function, which is called select square, and then we pass that value into it as an attribute with the type of React mouse event. Then we save the target of that event as an HTML element into a variable called element. Then we style it. Let's try that. See what happens. Right? So on click, define a function. Say E, handle click. Then we say over here that handle click will take the value of that click and React.mouse event. React.mouse event. And we save that to const element. Jazz, it's lo-fi stuff. It could be a little bit of jazz, but I don't think it's like jazz. I'm sorry. Let me bring the code over here so you guys can see. Apologies. All right, so we set element equal to the target as HTML element. Can we do that? Yes, we can. And then we say element dot, what was it? Style, right? Element dot style dot order equal to then solid black. Then solid. How do I write it? Okay, it's basis. Then solid. Right? And then we want to set the Z index because essentially what happens is that each one of our divs is actually on a different Z index. So whenever we have a styling of one of the divs, if it's actually behind another div, which is most definitely the case, some of the border is going to be hidden behind the div that is in front of it. So we need to set the element dot style dot index. Then we need to give it something like 1000 as a string. So now if we save that and we go here, load, we press, nothing is happening, and that's because think this has to be like this. Yeah, it does have to be like this. Pass the value inside. Yeah, there we go. All right. There we go. All right, so as we can see, every time we're clicking on one, we're actually drawing an outline. And what we're actually doing also is we're moving everything around for some reason. Not what we're looking for. But that's interesting because that actually reveals some of the map that was supposed to be rendered that is not. Possibly due... Oh, hold on. Oh! Is it the same? I think it's the same. I think it's just like repeating or something, no? Alright, hold on. I'm just trying to figure out like what's going on. Very interesting. Yeah, see, like now, if you look at the green over here, you can actually now see it at the top. So if I'm gonna keep clicking, we're gonna see that this actually starts continuing from the top. If I'm right. Yeah, there we go. All right. So essentially, it's just like repeating itself for some reason. Interesting. I usually listen to coffee jazz while I code. Yeah, I could give it a try someday. So that's interesting. And I think that that might be happening is because we actually defined everything in columns. You know what I'm gonna do? What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna actually take this again. Okay. Just to see whether or not the rows are supposed to be 53 and this has to be 35. That way I can switch in between both of these. Be right back. Need to open the door. Okay. So that's a really interesting problem because I think what's going on is... Actually, I don't know what's going on. No clue. Grid template rows, 35. The template columns, 53. Yes. Essentially, was how it's supposed to be. All right, see, but we're not getting the desired result, and the desired result is actually the other way around. It's actually 35 over here and 53 over here. But essentially, we just want it to flip, right? Either like this or like that. And I think if we start clicking, see, now we don't get the problem that we were getting earlier, which is exactly what I was suspecting was the problem earlier. It was the columns thing, right? Because now we're not defining it as a grid, we're defining it as something else, and it's pretty weird. I'm not sure how to... But good thing is that, I mean, it's working. We just gotta figure out how to flip everything, which is easier said than done. What we could look into is display grid on WW3 or W3. Whoa. Well, this could be very helpful. Determines a grid's item's location within the grid by referring to specific grid line. Alright, so clearly there is something that we could be doing about this problem. Right? I just need to figure it out. And the problem is that it's actually a very specific problem. So I probably can't rely on other people's questions. I could try to look for one, you know? But I feel like if I just go through this kind of documentation, it would be much easier to figure out my specific case. All right, see, that's exactly what's going on. Yo, Toms, you see that? It's rendering as 1, 2, 3, and what we needed to do is to render 1, 2, 3, you know, in columns. So we can figure that out. Lines between. Okay. Essentially what we need to do is we need to replace the div that is supposed to be in the location of the 2. We're supposed to, like, it's supposed to be like 1. I'm not mistaken. It's supposed to be 1, 4, 7, and then 1, 2, 3. So we just need to, like, figure out how to do that. I'm sure there's some sort of a system or something that someone already thought about. CSS grid render columns versus rows. This is experimental technology. Gutters. Yeah, we're close. For sure. Figure it out. And it's actually gonna probably have to wait until next stream. Because I just have like 8 minutes left. Okay, hold on. What did he do here? Grid template. AAA 40 pixels. 1. Then BCC. What are BCC? Like, oh, is it the, no. Forty pixel. Something with auto. Can we do auto here? Whoa. Okay, I'm trying to figure out like how is it changing exactly. All right, so with the auto, can we flip values that we have for template rows and template columns? No, we can't. Okay. Okay, fine. Let me see if I can find something. Create grid. I mean, it's super vague, I feel. Create grid. HTML, CSS. Columns. first. Display grid does this. Good. Right, but then when we say grid template columns, then it starts rendering it one after one right next to the other. So let's try to remove this for a second. Let me see how it looks. That. Right. Then we say display grid. Can we say display grid likes at the same time? Can we say flex like so? How to oh. But of course. We just create columns and we don't create rows. Oh. Oh, okay, let's create rows and not columns. Hold on. Okay, I'm trying to figure out like how it's being rendered so I can figure out what the solution should be. All right, so if we look at okay, so clearly it's actually rendering differently if we say rows, if we say columns, because the blue line over here is actually, well, it's not there. So if we say grid, template, columns, hold on. Well, so what's the difference between grid template rows and grid rows? A grid cell is the smallest unit. Actually, it is like a table cell. Excuse me. Okay. All right, I think I know what the solution is going to be, but it's probably gonna, it's actually going to have to wait until next time. And what I'm thinking I will do is actually go through the code myself, picking out specific X and Y coordinates, and depending on that, and rendering the divs depending on that. So essentially what we're looking for is that it renders well, we're looking for it to render in a very specific way. I mean, when we put everything in columns, everything is exactly where it should be. But when we render everything in a grid template, everything is rendered in lines rather than in rows, like it's here. So I'll probably have to like give it a thought, go into the code again, and see how I can fix it. I mean, ideally, I would come back to the stream with a solution already prepared. Cash, yo. So we're essentially back at square one because we found out that the columns, when we render everything using the columns CSS, I don't know what you call it, like a style attribute. Every time I pressed on one of the squares, highlighting them with a border, or using a border, everything started shifting. And it almost looked as though almost looked as though everything was, or the map itself was kind of on a treadmill. You know, it was kind of like repeating itself. It's weird, but essentially I'll need to, I think, to render everything. Well, not to render everything, but just to like figure out a way in which I can place all these squares the way I want them to be placed. Because I still feel like I probably do not have a solid understanding of how it's rendering here, so I'm gonna have to, like, you know, do some reading on like grids and how they function, so I can figure it out. I mean, we could also probably even try to fix it from here by assigning the value of topography no. Maybe it's the count. Maybe it's this. No, that can't be it. Yeah, no, I don't think we can edit the code in the processing program. I think it's gonna have to be in here. And you know, like I'm kind of dreading it because I know for a fact that I'm not too fond of CSS, and I'm gonna have to like delve into it and start figuring things out. It's gonna be a challenge, but hopefully I'll be able to do that. I'll definitely be able to solve the problem. But yeah, I'm just gonna have to like delve head straight into it at first. Yeah, I mean, one thing's for sure is that I'm gonna first read through this over here, try to understand exactly how it works. I'm probably also going to have to go into the processing program as well and understand exactly how that one works as well, right? Yeah, so it's safe to say, I think, that the next stream is going to be very interesting. I'm gonna try to come prepared, hopefully, so that we can kind of, you know, move quickly past the problems and fixing them, you know, as fast as I can. But I want to thank everyone for hanging out. Really appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I'm uploading these streams as well on YouTube every you know, after every stream, you know, give or take a couple of days, I'm uploading the entire stream up to YouTube. So if you guys missed any of the streams and you would like to like catch up on what was happening or whatever, you could still do that there. And hopefully once we reach like a very high number of episodes, you know, these videos will start making sense, because then you can kind of follow the development of the program and then how it's, you know, how it started. You know, like kind of you know, if let's say we have like 100 videos, you could kind of like take the first and second one to see like how I was back then, how rusty, how I was like trying to figure things out. I feel like it's going to be like super interesting to be able to do that. But yeah, so next stream is going to be on Thursday. Next stream is going to be on Thursday, right? Same time. So if you guys want to hang out, I would really appreciate it. I mean, the help you guys, you know, your input was super helpful. So that's one thing. And yeah, so Connor, appreciate the follow, man. Thank you so much. So if you guys would like to like follow our YouTube, that would be super awesome. If you guys would like to follow our Instagram, what else do we have? Yeah, well, our socials, and check out our website as well. That would be super nice. We're creating a service where users can kind of post questions and challenges to other community members. Technical questions, questions about their code or like something that they could fix. It's a little bit like Stack Overflow, but it's not. It's a little bit different, because what we're providing is also an entire platform, or an entire a service that helps tech profiles or tech users find jobs. And we do that by quantifying their skills, their soft and hard skills, and we also present this information to recruiters and companies, so they can actually access this information and find out exactly who of these of the community members is the best at Reactjs or Vue.js or whatever, C#, and they can check your skills there. They can check your soft skills, like you see if like you're you're active within the community, and yeah, we feel like the service that we are providing is super helpful to tech profiles, essentially. Anyway, yeah, if you can check these out, that would be super helpful for me, because I'm kind of doing this in order to spread the word about our service, which is going to be coming soon, hopefully. But anyway, thanks again, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you again next time, and stay safe and keep coding. Have a good one, guys. Peace.